Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. Welcome back to another episode of Apple Arcade Audit, where this time I will be looking at the Pinball Wizard, developed by Frosty Pop. This isn't the first game to have melded RPG mechanics with pinball. You can go all the way back to Pinball Quest for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1989 for that. Since then there have been a few other attempts as well. There was Rollers of the Realm, and the Skyrim table for Zen Pinball 2 also featured levelling up and an inventory system. I'm fairly certain that there must have been at least one real pinball table that had some RPG elements as well. Considering how far back the history of pinball and video games stretches, I'm surprised there haven't been more attempts though, because it does make the game more addictive in my experience. As you may have guessed already, the Pinball Wizard is the latest game to fuse experience points, levelling up and special abilities with flippers, bumpers, obstacles and all the other finery that usually decorate a traditional pinball table. The ball is replaced by your character, who is a chubby little wizard. The bumpers are replaced by barrels, torches and other dungeon equipment, and obstacles are replaced by roaming enemies that will actively attack you. You have a pool of hit points which, when depleted, result in a game over. Just falling off the bottom of the screen doesn't kill you outright, but it will hurt you a little bit. The enemies include things like slimes that will change colour when they will hurt you, sentient mushrooms that resemble Toad from Mario on a really bad day and can protrude spikes, cheeky bats that drop bombs, and spiders that restrict one of your flippers with their webbing. Your task is to survive all of these baddies and find the key which will open up the door to the next floor of the tower. Once the door is open, if you manage to shoot your way through it, you will get a bit of health back for the next floor. Otherwise, when a timer runs out, you will automatically be moved on to the next level. As you kill enemies, you will be earning both experience and money. As you level up between games, you will unlock various powers that you can use to make your progress easier, and you can improve these powers by spending gold on them. These include things like being able to slow down time for a few seconds and aim yourself precisely, or firing off a magic orb that bounces around temporarily like a real pinball. The aiming one can be very useful for getting through the door or for targeting specific enemies that are making your life difficult. It can be quite satisfying to knock the bombs that those cheeky little bats drop right back at them and blow them up. The game is pretty tough early on, and you probably won't make it too far into the tower on your first few attempts. The amount of gold and experience you earn is actually quite generous though, so it won't be too long before you're able to make it further, just by being stronger and also by being better at the game in general. As you hit certain floors, you will be able to restart from them in future games, which makes it a lot easier to make progress. Your overall goal is to make it to floor 21 and defeat the end of game boss. This will likely take you a few hours to do, and will take a fair bit of luck as well as skill to see you through. Besides the main tower, there are a couple of endless modes where you just see how many points you can earn. It would be nice if Frosty Pop were to add more levels to the campaign in the future, but considering this was a launch game for the Apple Arcade service, they may have already moved on to other projects. Visually, the Pinball Wizard is just okay. There is really nothing here that will blow you away. It's all quite cartoony and basic looking, and there is a lack of variety throughout the tower. Each floor essentially looks very similar to the one before, aside from some floors being a single screen and others having a bit of scrolling. The game does dole out new monster types quite regularly, which is nice, but some new background designs would have been good to see. The lack of variety also extends to the music. There is just one tune that plays incessantly all the time in the background, and it's also not very long. Eventually you will probably mute it and put your own music on, or it might just drive you mad. For the 3 or so hours it took me to get to the end of the tower, I did have fun, and it's precisely because of this that I wish there just was a little bit more. The Pinball Wizard is a decent amount of fun while it lasts. Unfortunately that's just not very long though. I do think it's worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of pinball or you're looking for a game that's easy to pick up and play. Overall, I'm going to give it a score of 7 out of 10. What's there is fine, there just isn't very much of it. Thanks for watching, I'll be back with another video soon. In the meantime, take care.